Greetings, y'all. Ohio gun lawyer coming to you with Munitions Law Group, here with Steve Palmer, our professional affiliate in criminal defense. You can find us at munitionsgroup.com. You can call us at our local Columbus office, 614-326-1919. We also maintain an office in Atlanta, Georgia. Remember, we do anything soup to nuts on gun law. Today, we're going to be talking about criminal defense. It's obviously a hot button issue for all of our clients. I have litigated with Steve before on self-defense matters. And that's what I tell people about Steve. If I was going to be charged with a crime, this is the man I would go to. In my opinion, he's one of the best criminal defense attorneys in the country. So Steve, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody, and I appreciate that. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Steve, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about where you come from, your background, how you got into the law, so they can get to know you a little bit. Because if they were to have to hire us, I want them to know who you are, and you know, because we're going to be intimately involved in their lives.
Well, it's interesting because I don't do what I do for the cause. In other words, I don't go beat the drum for the cause. What I try to do is help people solve their problems. I got into the law, I think, because I just found myself enjoying it. I'm actually pretty good at solving problems. And I think particularly with when we deal with these types of gun issues and people in self-defense scenarios, it's not what I think most people would think of as criminal defense, right? I mean, you've got people who are sort of acting on the right side of the law, but then maybe they're accused of something or the prosecutor or somebody's accusing them of being on the wrong side of the law, and we just happen to disagree.
Right. So he got involved with us at munitionsgroup.com, and we only do at our office, just so everybody knows, gun-related criminal defense. That's the only thing we touch. We bring him on board to help us litigate those. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience in gun defense and how you got hooked up with us over at Munitions Group?
Yeah, it's we go back a long ways here, or at least a few years now. I have been doing all types of criminal defense for a better part of 22 years. And a lot of that in crime involves guns. And gun defense has become, and I think as you guys have shown, a pretty unique area where you get people sort of caught up using guns in crimes, and that's one area that you guys probably don't see as much. But then you get where the gun itself or the manufacturing guns or not having the proper licensing can also be a crime. And it's been great to work with you guys when I need help figuring out the complexities of the gun regulations, and as the case we just worked on recently, how guns operate and what can make them work or not work can become important, and that's where you guys at Munitions, it's been a great team for us.
Right, and we appreciate that. So Steve's right. You know, we bring him on because of his wealth of experience just in litigating in front of juries. I've done jury trials before. I can do them, but it's always better to have two heads rather than one. And Steve is very, very good. I've seen him in action. Like he said, we just litigated a case in a county just south of Columbus, and we won. The guy was looking at 11 years, I believe.
He was looking at up to 11 years. We obviously felt he was wrongfully convicted. And, you know, I hate to just jump ahead and...
Wrongfully charged, you mean?
Wrongfully charged. I said convicted.
You said convicted.
No, we prevented that.
we prevented
that. I hate to jump ahead, but what a moment, right? Watching your
Yeah.
client get his gun back on the courthouse steps
Yeah.
in a small county in central
Yeah.
Ohio
Yeah.
after getting him acquitted and vindicated for acting in self-defense and doing what he felt was on the right side of the law.
That's right.
It's a great feeling, yeah.
I know we just taught a concealed carry class this past weekend up at Blackwing Shooting Center, and I get this feeling that a lot of us as gun owners, we take this class and we think to ourselves, well, if I use self-defense, things are going to work out. I'm not going to be charged with a crime. And that's just not the case, is it?
No, it's not the case at all. And the case we just discussed or we're just talking about is a perfect example, right? This guy uses his weapon in his own defense, but also in the defense of really a defenseless child. And pulls out his weapon, thought he was doing everything correctly and thought he was doing things on the right side of the law, and then just sort of figured, well, I'll just, when the police come or when it all gets unraveled, they'll just understand and won't charge me with anything, or I won't be in trouble. It'll be, quote, self-defense. Here's the problem, is that we're dealing with the justice system, which isn't always just. We're dealing with a system that is run by people, that is run by politics at times. It's run by, it's imperfect, I guess is the best way to say it. And when we talked on Saturday or last week to these folks getting their license to carry a concealed handgun, I think it's important to impart on folks is that you can't count on everything falling your way when you have to use that firearm. And you know, how on earth could you possibly get wrapped up with us in my office charged with a crime? Well, it's actually, sadly, it's easier than you might think. If you use that gun and somebody is hurt badly or if somebody dies, heaven forbid, then there's going to be an investigation. There's going to be police officers there. There's going to be prosecutors there. There's going to be news media there. And there's going to be folks who aren't going to buy what you're saying. And that's where we come in.
Absolutely. I often get this question. I want to address one legal question for the audience today because I think it's relevant. What do you tell the police? And there's all kinds of different, talking heads out there saying you should say this, that, and the other thing. As a straight up criminal defense attorney, that's all you do, right?
That's all I do, yeah.
What do you tell clients? What should you tell the police after a shooting if it's in self-defense?
All right, let me back up a little bit because I've heard this too. People have all sorts of things that they're instructed to tell the police about what they did or didn't do, and they keep it vague or keep it. Let me just simplify this, and you read my lips. Absolutely nothing. You tell them nothing. You do not make a statement, and there's good reason for that. And we sort of discussed this at our class on Saturday, right? Mm-hmm. Think about how you might feel, how one might feel after having to pull their weapon and use it. That means fire a gun at another person in self-defense, and in the worst case scenario, somebody's dead. Think about what that's doing to your internal psyche and to your adrenaline rush. It is by far the best situation to give a statement about anything at all. Right. So for no other reason, it has nothing to do with guilt or innocence, whether you were justified or not justified, for no other reason, take your time. Say, I just prefer not to make a statement until I have a lawyer present. Right. And then you can go back, sit down with us, and we can help figure out whether it's the right thing or wrong thing to do to make a statement. You can always make a statement later. You can't take it back once you do it. Right. And like we said, anything you say will be used against you. Yeah. It will be used against you. It will be used against you.
And to tag on that, Steve, I've told my viewers before, I agree 100%. And I know all these talking heads out there say, well, you say this, that, and the other thing. The problem with that is I've been in combat. I'm a combat veteran. Mm-hmm. And I know what it's like to get tunnel vision. I know what it's like. And cops won't hold it against you no matter what you're being told. Cops are trained not to talk after they shoot somebody. Right? They have a period of time where they're supposed to, just decompress before they make an official statement. I think that's the most department policy, is it not?
That's a great point. I think that is true. And I also, you've just given me a nice idea. So next time we have a case where our client didn't make a statement right away,
there you go.
It's a great voir dire or a great topic to introduce about how the police themselves are trained to deal with it. And you as a combat veteran, fortunately, I enjoy what you guys have done for us in this country. I haven't had to do that. But firsthand what that feels like. And everybody at some point or another has been in a high conflict situation where your heart's racing, adrenaline rushing. It's not the time to make a statement.
Right. I agree 100%. There's a great video out there called Do Not Talk to the Police. It was actually filmed when I was in law school, at my law school, by my law professor, James Duane. Watch it. I think it's a 3-part series. A classmate of mine who's now a prosecutor was a Virginia Beach police detective at the time. He co-taught that with the professor. I don't know if you've seen it. It's an amazing
I've not
video.
seen it. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, it's gone viral. He's actually written a book on it as well. So with that, I just wanted to introduce Steve. Steve, where can they find you?
Yeah, my law firm is Yavich and Palmer. You can look us up online, ohiolegaldefense.com. There's lots of good information about criminal defense in general and also some gun stuff, and look forward to any questions anybody might have.
And they can find you on the airways, right, in Central Ohio?
Yeah, tune into the Blitz 99.7 every Wednesday morning. Get your legal questions answered.
Okay. And you can also get them through us. Obviously, if you have an issue with criminal defense and you need to get a hold of us, you get a hold of Steve or myself and just mention Munitions Group, and you will get the best representation that we can muster for you, and we'll definitely help you guys out. So any questions, please drop them in the comments right below us. If you want to comment on the beautiful beard, please do so. Steve plays the classical guitar. Maybe we'll have him back and he can play some tunes for you guys, and you can make comments on his playing skills.
We'll go from guns to guitar.
There you go. Other than that, guys, just remember, as I always say, be safe out there and carry on.